These are the Cardo Packtalk Edgephones. And I have to say, these are a legit accessory, and I've been using them for about the last 500 miles or so in the Talon, in the Pioneer, as well as rotating around some other machines. They are designed for car-to-car or in-car passenger communication where you can talk to other passengers, but I have found that even when I go riding by myself, I throw these on. Not only do they offer a little bit of ear pro against that kind of grumble and loud tone of the motor, but I get my music, I get my phone alerts, and they are comfortable, and in the colder weather they even keep my ears just a little bit warm. So no so far cons that I've experienced with using these. Now, the obvious highlights are the communication in the car. Being able to talk to my passengers has been an enhancement where we are able to have a casual conversation. The heart of the unit obviously is the Packtalk, so I have a helmet mount for my son because in our state he's required to wear a helmet, so I have a helmet kit for his, but for the grown-ups, and yes, I realize I should be wearing a helmet more often, but sometimes I don't, and I like being able to still have communication with the Edgephones. The other cool part is that if someone were to hop out of the car and be a spotter or something like that, they're able to communicate without having to wear their helmet, and then obviously car to car. So other friends of mine who had them in their machines were able to talk as we're riding. It's just a really cool piece of technology. Thanks for tuning into our new channel where we talk about all sorts of cool tools, gear, and things with tread and putting them to use. If you like the content, please like, share, and subscribe. We're a new channel and it helps the algorithms tell us that we are worth suggesting and helping our channel grow. Plus, we'll have some codes and links in the description to help save you some money at absolutely no cost to you, and it does help support our channel. Let's head inside and learn more about these Packtalk Edgephones. I was really looking for a solution for a intercom type system. When I had the Pioneer, which I love that machine, I always really liked the fact that it was quiet and I could talk to people, nearby. However, when we're all wearing helmets and things like that, it's a little bit harder. And now with the Talon is a louder machine and it's not quite as easy. Plus, the other thing is, I like throwing in my AirPods and listening to music on long rides, especially when we did my overland trip and whatnot, but then I can't talk to people and communicate and all that, and that's where these Edgephones really came in. Now, I was looking at other intercom systems that would have to hardwire to the car, then I have to run wires, and I have to run wires to the headsets, and I have to have this box thing mounted somewhere, and the downside of it is that only had one audio input, and that was like a couple of grand easy to get that system. And then I'm stuck with that system in the car. And then I came across a Facebook ad for these. Now I got to play with them a little bit. I reached out to Cardo. I have two, I lost their little demo thing. I have two sets on demo, but I like them so much that I ended up buying an additional 2 sets. So I have some on demo. I do have a link that will give some commission that I'll put in there in a little bit, so just full disclosure on that. But otherwise, I'm not paid or sponsored or anything like that. But I do have these demo sets, and they're awesome. I absolutely love these. I'm not giving them back, so I don't know purchase price or all that other stuff, but they've been really, really nice. Now, we'll take a first look at what's in the box, how to set them up, some of the pros, cons, some of the things I like, a couple of things that I wish that would improve for the future, but really, you kind of want to know how they work. So obviously out on the trail, the real use of the Cardo Edgephones has actually been pretty good. It's really comfortable to wear. It's easy to hear audio inside the cab, even with engine noise. Now, granted, the Honda's pretty quiet, but Trevor, who's actually behind the camera, has a CF Moto, which is a little bit more noisy for cab noise, and he's reporting that there's no issues hearing me, hearing his podcast, over engine compartment noise, all that kind of stuff too. Now, one thing we did notice is that the terrain that we're in today is kind of hilly. It's, the cliche of over the river and through the woods. And there was some times when I was in the front, he was in the back. And if we had terrain or, a lot of earth between us, that there was a little bit of dropout. So obviously the claim of their range is going to be definitely for line of sight. And on some trails, you might notice that it does start to, separate out. Now, we only have 2 in our group, and if we had a couple of other people with the mesh in between, it would obviously create kind of that longer train. So I think it would work even better. So if you have a large group, I think the more of these you add would definitely be better for maintaining, kind of front, kind of locomotive to caboose compatibility, if you will. I mean, even doing chores around the house, I was snow blowing and I threw on these because they are a 15 decibel hearing protection, which isn't the highest when you compare other ear pro out there, but the audio quality with the JBL speakers is awesome. So even when I was out plowing and snow blowing with my little mini tractor, I was able to enjoy my music, get my notifications, and enjoy the chore that much more. So even another use scenario for this. But what's cool is that they're wireless. What I love about it is I don't have anything connected to the car. And then I just switched machines. So I sold my Pioneer, I got the Talon. To pull all of that out and have to reinstall it in the Talon, it wouldn't be in there right now. Like, I can guarantee you I would have not had the time to reinstall it, because we've had an amazing mild winter. Where I've been riding all winter. I was riding with the Talon, I cleaned it up, sold it, now I'm riding, or the Pioneer, and now I'm riding with the Talon. So I have a solid 500 miles this winter, and yeah, I've been using these between all those rides, and being able just to throw it on, be done, put it in the mini tractor, move around. Or when my son wanted to ride in a different machine, I could still talk to him and make sure, hey, are you doing all right? Are you getting cold? Do you need a snack? Or whatever it might be. He could hop around wherever, and wireless, no big deal. It just went with him. But the best feature that I love about these, especially if you're a parent with kids, is the music. That's right. Every Cardo Edgephone with this little module right here, which we'll talk about in a little bit, but this pairs to a phone, and I can listen to my music on mine. My son can pair it to his phone, and he can listen to his music. My daughter can be in the back seat with her headset or her helmet headset, and she can listen to her music. We're all listening to our own music, which is awesome. Let me just say, no more arguing about whose turn it is to pick a song. No more arguing about which song we're listening to or the style of music. Everybody gets their own music, but yet we can still talk. The audio quality is awesome. Now, there is a function in the app where you can actually record car-to-car audio, which is kind of cool, and I'll throw some footage of that probably throughout the video as we're riding, but I will say the app really compresses that audio. So what I'm going to play for you does not represent what you hear in your ears. The audio quality in your ears is so much better with the speakers versus what the app records. The app compresses it so much that I was almost tempted not even to include it in the video, because I don't think it's a fair representation of the quality of the Edgephone.
Oh yeah, look at that. That's a good turn. Noah made it through just fine. So Trevor, as far as in-machine audio quality, I don't have any real complaints.
No, it's great. You can hear everything, especially with I'm wearing the same setup you're wearing.
Yeah.
It's as good or better than any, cell phone conversation I've had.
Like I said, not a fair representation. Your music sounds really good. Your audio from car to car or intercom sounds really good. Now, is it as nice as like a really high-end set of music headphones? No, it's not, but it's also not as expensive either. Now, here's other things that I really like about it, is we kind of wanted to practice. We kind of wanted to test a little bit, and this was not by any means super technical terrain, but I wanted to say, hey, hop out and pretend like you're a spotter, and let's see how the communication works. Is there any issues, interference, stuff like that? And it worked flawless. Now, as we're riding, I did notice that it did drop a little bit. Now, this uses their own system called DMC, and I know what you're thinking, like the awesome band. No, and it basically connects Cardo unit to Cardo unit. The heart of the unit is the Cardo Packtalk Edge, and it's this wireless little device right here, and it either connects, on the Edgephones, which the Edgephones are the headphones, and then the unit will just connect here with like a magnet. They have a fancy term for it, like air mount. Yeah, air mount. So you just kind of get it close, and then, it just magnets in. However, they also have helmet mounts that just mount in there as well. And the helmet mount is actually really solid. It has this little button on the front that you have to kind of slide so it's not going to pop off. But so that's what's kind of cool, is that you can move it from, device to device. But the Packtalk Edge basically communicates wirelessly with their own little, mesh network from unit to unit. But what's cool is that once you sync everything, so you're going to take a few minutes when you first get them, and you're going to connect them all, and then you're going to allow each person to get the app and, sync it Bluetooth to their phone. But once I set up the DMC, what's really cool is that it remembers. So all the devices that are in my group, you get a little confirmation when you press and hold the little radar button right up here to kind of get it in the mode. But what's awesome is that it remembers. So me and my boy, we're in my machine, we're driving to meet our friend at the gas station, and then all of a sudden we're talking, and then boom, we hear Trevor's voice, because we got within range, and he had his on, and then the system just found each other and auto-healed. So it was really cool for that, because all of a sudden we're like, oh my gosh, Trevor can hear us, But other things I like about the interface, speaking of buttons, is we do have the phone function button, so you can answer calls, things like that. You do have a volume slider, and then you do have a function button up here. So with that, you can do basic things like play, pause, skip the next song, adjust the volume, all without having to take it off and really, learn too much once you memorize where the buttons are. So even with gloves, it wasn't that big of a deal. But it also has wireless commands. So I could just say like, hey Cardo, mute microphone. Hey Cardo, turn volume up. Hey Cardo, next song, or was it next track? I can't remember. But what's also great is that there was times when my son would be like, hey, will you guys stop talking? I just want to listen to my music. In the app, you can set up like a private little channel, like a private chat, where then it was just, I could pick, I just want to talk to Trevor just wants to talk to me, and we can exclude him. So he can just do his thing, and we could just be old boring dudes talking about, oh, did you see that big deer over there? That's so nice, and all the boring crap that we talk about, because I'm old and boring, and that's just the way it is. When you buy them, this is what you get in the box. It comes with this fancy ballistic nylon case, which is cool, but I'm never going to use it. So I feel bad that it comes with such a nice case. But everything you need is right in here. It comes with your owner's manual and documentation. They also have some really good videos. So if you want to just watch the tutorial, like I made myself a cocktail, sat down, watched their setup tutorial, had all the units or whatever, and did all the syncing and everything like that. Now I have to add one more, which is no big deal. But manual, cable, and then on this side, we actually have the unit itself. You lift this out and you have your headphones, microphone, and it all goes together really easily. You basically just literally like, arrow to arrow, plug it in, easy. And then on the inside here, there's a little arrow right there, and that's the part that goes by your mouth. And then now they're set up. You just make sure this is charged, USB-C, air mount. Boom, done. It's, pretty sweet. They're expensive. Let's talk about price. Price for the Edgephones, you can get them in like singles, you can get them in 2-packs, all that other stuff. MSRP is just under $500. Street price is like that mid $400 range for one of these, which you might be thinking, that's a lot. But here's the thing. I use this every ride. My AirPods were like few $100s, and I don't use them all the time, but I use these every time I ride in the machine, whether I'm riding solo, whether I'm riding with people. I use these because I love listening to music, being able to answer my phone, get notifications like I was talking about earlier. But then the ability to talk with people is awesome. So it's well worth it. And I easily would have spent a couple $1,000s, if not more, on a intercom type system that would go hardwired in the car. I would highly recommend these. I have no complaints. Now I do have some wishes. Okay, number one, the little ear cups here are like a vinyl, and they're okay, but after a few hours, I would take them off and kind of just give my ears some fresh air or whatever. I would love to see them upgrade to a gel cup, which is really common in the shooting, Ear Pro, aviation Ear Pro, long-term Ear Pro. It's basically like a cup with like this gel, and it's way more comfortable for long. Like I wear Ear Pro for 10, 11, 12 hours on the range and stuff. So definitely having some gel cups in here would be awesome. Same thing with the headband, but overall there's a good amount of adjustments and there's a little bit of pivot, so I don't really have too many complaints on the comfort. But I would love to see some gel cups. I'm probably going to put some noise fighters in some of these to see if I can kind of do my own hack. So that would be one thing. The other thing that I would love to see, like a wish list, is obviously distance. So line of sight is really good. When we're on the trails, things like that, line of sight was great. However, we would lose out a little bit if I would go over a hill, be on the other side, and the machine was over there, and we lost line of sight, and we had a lot of earth between us. What would be kind of cool is if they could make some sort of repeater dongle thing that I could mount up high on the roll cage that would be powered, and it would have like an antenna. So basically this would talk to that, and it would make like a super DCM, like a Aerosmith DCM, run DMC. Anyways, it would take the DMC of this, and then it would add Aerosmith with this wireless technology, and you'd have like a run DMC system. Man, I'm probably going to get so copyrighted for this, but that antenna would boost it and talk to the other antenna, and then like micro mesh it. I don't know, some sort of a wireless repeater radio boost option would be kind of cool. Additionally, I would love to see, like if this is the Packtalk Edgephone, I would love to see, and I don't have a fancy name, but like the Packtalk Edge Talk hand talk, hand edge. Oh boy, that could really get ugly quick. I got to stop there, but I would love to see something like this, like interface with a little handheld unit, so that way if somebody wanted to use it just like a walkie-talkie, they could hear everything, but then they could have like a push to talk, so you know they could talk or whatever. That'd be kind of cool too. So if they can make like a walkie-talkie walkie-talkie, walkie-talkie, whatever. If they can make a walkie-talkie, that'd be kind of cool too. Air mount, all that. So that's that, dudes. I like this accessory. I like it a lot. There we go. I'll even make it nice. Perfect. I like it. I'm going to use it every ride. I'm going to continue to use it. It's awesome. I'll have links in the description. I'll even have a code that'll save you either shipping or some off. If you use the code, it helps out the channel, which is just really helps us, okay? So use the code, use the links, use that. Get yourself some of these. They have motorcycle kits. They have skiing kits if you're into like, you know, like snow skiing where you can hook it up to your helmet and the same thing, you can kind of talk. And I know I'm at the way end of the video. So if you've made it this far, kudos to you. Leave a comment and say, I made it to the end, because I appreciate you. I just want to see if anyone actually is still watching at this point. So that's all I got, dudes. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.